Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am in the beautiful San Clemente, California, and for today's gentle flow or gentle practice, we will be utilizing 2 blocks and a strap. Now the strap is very important today, and if you don't have a strap, we can always use a rolled up towel. Scarves work really nicely. A belt would be good. It doesn't have to be incredibly long, but we do want it long enough to where we can hook it around the foot with the leg extended. So just keep that in mind. And when you're feeling ready, we're gonna get started lying flat on the back. Coming down onto the mat, extend the legs long, slowly lower to the bottom. Let the shoulders drop, the head get a little heavier. Rock the head from side to side, wiggle out the jaw, move around the brow. Just start to notice the breath, taking your time getting here. Notice the backside body laying into the mat. Let the glutes get a little softer, the arms get a little heavier. Flop the feet from side to side. Taking the hands to the belly, begin to take the inhales deeper. Ballooning the belly, filling the lungs, and slowly letting the exhale escape you. Closing the eyes, rest the brow, soften the cheeks, start to drop the tension from the body. Notice where you're holding it. If this ever feels like a lot on the lower back right now, we can always walk the feet up close to the glutes, maybe tucking that tailbone under. Notice what your body needs. You can be in any position you'd like. We're just getting here. Flushing the body with breath, bringing in that new oxygen. You deserve this time. You deserve this time on your mat with your breath. You deserve to be without your thoughts. Surrendering the thoughts, the distractions, everywhere else your mind is trying to be right now. Letting go of any guilt and understanding that this is the most productive thing you could do for you. By making yourself the very best you can be for others and for all the hats you wear. Let the body get a little heavier. 3 more breaths. Drawing yourself into presence, into this very moment. In your own time, cactus the arms, let the palms face the ceiling. Walk the feet out wide to the edges of the mat. Lightly flex into both feet. Windshield wiper the knees. Letting the knees fall from one side to the other. Find a little hang time at each side if you choose. Starting to warm up the lower body, bringing in the awareness, most importantly, the oxygen, the breath. Two more breaths, even out the sides. As we are happy to be here, bring the knees back into center. Walk the feet up close to the glutes. Give yourself a hug. Pull the knees in towards the ribs. You can hook the hands behind the knees, over the knees. You'd reach for opposite elbows if it's in your practice, not for me. As we roll out the ankles, scrunch and flex the feet. Keep the shoulders pressed down into the mat. Keep the head pressing heavy. As you spread the toes wide, scrunch them in, maybe point one toe and flex the opposite foot. As we start to find little circles with the knees or just rock from side to side, try to pull that tailbone under you a little bit further. As you find these rocks or these movements, elongate the lumbar. As we guide the knees back into center, slowly release both feet down to the mat. Walking the feet up a little closer to the glutes, let the fingertips just about scrape the heels. So we draw those fingertips down, pull those shoulders down. Flex both feet if it's in your practice. Think about elongating the neck and opening the heart. Take 3 breaths here. Keeping the feet flexed, the shoulders pulling down, lengthening up from behind the ears. So we walk the feet into touch. Keep the feet up close to the glutes. Keep inching the fingertips down towards the bottom of your mat. Maybe pinning the hands or the wrists or the forearms under the glutes ever so slightly. Bring the soles of the feet to touch with the knees out wide. Find a Supta Baddha Konasana, pinning the hands and wrists if it's in your practice. Keeping the shoulders pulled down, let the shoulders draw down the spine, lengthen up from behind the ears. Breathe. Wiggling those toes together, take the gaze to the right. Bringing that right ear onto the mat. Stretch out the neck. Big, deep breaths. On the bottom of every breath, try to turn the head just a little bit further, not overextending, but let that length happen. Maybe sighing it out if you find a lot of tension. 2 breaths here with me. Guiding the head back into center. Take 1 full breath, inhaling to the top. Soft sigh to release. Take the gaze to the left. Left ear onto the mat, lengthening in that SCM, that front large neck muscle. Keeping both shoulders anchored down. Think about lengthening in the neck as you inhale and exhaling to look a little further over the shoulder. Drop that tension on those exhales. One more full breath. Inhaling to your fullest. Exhale it all out. And slowly bring the head back to center. Slowly guide the knees back together. Release the hands from the pin as we walk the feet out wide to the edges of the mat. Let the knees fall in together. Roll out the wrists. Roll out the wrist while you're making a fist. Keep those hands tight. Then roll out the wrists while you have the fingers spread wide. Notice what changes. Wiggling through the fingers, wave those 4 fingers, include the thumb. As you then make tight, tight fists, and then spread the fingers wide. A couple of times there. Tensing the hands up tight, then opening them as wide as you can. So we then shake those hands out, shake those arms loose. As we walk the feet into center, slowly roll on to the left side in a supported fetal position. Taking your time here in the supported fetal position. Taking a few breaths, knowing you have arrived and appreciating yourself for showing up. Using the strength of your arms in your own time, press the mat away as we guide ourselves up into a comfortable seat. Coming into a cross-legged position, a Sukhasana. Notice now if you want support. So personally, I like to take a block under my sit bones, lifting my sit bones off the ground just enough that I can start to create a slope, and I can tilt my pelvis forward, scooting right to the edge of that block. Find some intuitive movement here. Maybe you want to roll out the wrists more, maybe reach the arms overhead, maybe open up the shoulders. There's no wrong way to be here. They don't have to be yoga poses, just move your body. We can rock back and forth, side to side, anything that feels good. So we then eventually ground down into the legs, rotating the pelvis forward, make lots of room for the lungs. Spine is stacked, shoulders draw down and back, lengthen from behind the ears, close the eyes and breathe. Palms can face down to ground or flip up to receive. Slow down your breath. Slowing down the inhale, releasing the exhales as slowly as you can. Giving yourself as much time as possible with each breath, as each breath deserves your time, your effort, your awareness. So we stay with these slow breaths. Keep those arms hanging heavy, elbows rest down, find circles with the neck. Start by guiding one ear to the shoulder, then rolling the chin down to the chest, opposite ear to other shoulder, guiding the head back and around. Moving slowly, moving intentionally. Find the very largest circles you can take with this neck. Breathing into any tension, any tightness. Knowing it's natural to hold a lot here. This is where we hold our stress. This is where we hold our worries. This is the weight of the world on our shoulders. And not downplaying that either. Not finding excuses or comparing and thinking that other people do more or have more to do. You have plenty. You are more than enough. You do more than enough. Reward yourself for it by giving yourself time off. Switch directions of these circles when you're ready. Opposite way. Roll it around. We're really taking our time here with the neck and shoulders. Spending this long on neck circles is no accident. Breathe deep. These simple rotations of the head are a beautiful gift to offer yourself. Maybe first thing when you wake up in the morning, before you go to bed at night. Even if you just offered yourself 3 little breaths in the morning, right when you sat up out of bed. The 3 little breaths before you go to sleep. Some neck circles. What a beautiful way to honor your body. Appreciating how well it works, how hard it works. One more breath. The head guides back into center, lengthen up from behind the ears. Take one breath just to feel where you're at here in center. Releasing the right hand out to the side, shining the palm forward, spreading the fingers wide. Inhale, reach that arm up to the sky. Taking the right ear into the bicep, we're going to wrap the hand around the head all the way until it touches that left ear. Using that bicep as support, slowly guide the head over. Big, deep breaths here. So we want that head fully supported on the arm because we are not pulling, we are gently guiding. Tracking this left shoulder down towards the mat. As the breath stays deep, as that feels good, you can rock the shoulder forward and backward. Pressing that shoulder forward, rounding the shoulder. Then pulling it to the wall behind you. Breath here is key. Movement here with breath is just depriving yourself of the benefit. The breathing is how the healing happens. 2 more breaths here, movement or stillness. Bottom of that breath, shoulder comes to center, very specifically. Inhale, lift the hand only up to the sky. And as you exhale, slowly lift the head, release the right arm down. Once we get here, notice the difference between the 2 sides of the neck, of the traps, of the shoulders. Roll through those shoulders. Help dissipate, spread around some of that heat, that warmth. Drop that tension if you found quite a bit of it. It's natural. It's not just you, it's all of us. As we return to center, draw the shoulders down and back, lengthen up from behind the ears. Reaching the left hand out to the side, shine the palm forward. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. As we rest that left ear into the bicep, wrap the arm around the head. Resting that left ear, resting the head onto the left bicep. Let that guide the right side open. Again, we're not pulling here, we're not forcing. We are resting, we are breathing, we are guiding. You can settle into stillness, simply pulling that right shoulder down to the mat. Or you can rock the right shoulder forward and backward. Wherever you are, just breathe. One more breath, movement or stillness. As we come back to center, very specifically, inhale to lift the hand only. Exhale to gently guide the head to center, release the left arm. Take 1 breath here, let that resonate. As we roll through the shoulders. Exaggerate these movements, pull the shoulders together, pull them up to the sky, down to where the shoulder blades touch, and then draw down the back. Wiggle out the jaw, find little movements, maybe half circles. Just analyze how you feel. Sometimes waking up a lot in that neck is not necessarily easy. Be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself. When you're ready, extend both legs long, out wide as the legs are willing to go. There's no competition here. Guiding the sit bones down, take notice of the hamstrings. The hamstrings are feeling tight. Offer blankets, blocks, anything to help soften that bend. We don't want to overextend. Grounding down, lengthening in the spine, lengthening out of the crown of the head. Lengthen from behind those ears. Come back to your breath. If you want a little bit more here, flex into both feet. Pull the toes towards the shins. If you want a little less, soften, relax. Take as much or as little as you like. As we keep the glutes grounded, spine long, we're going to metronome, rock from side to side. Keeping the spine nice and long. As we lean to one side, I want you to press the opposite glute down into the mat. So as I lean to the left, I'm pressing that left glute down. As I lean to the right, I'm pressing the left glute down. Stay here with your breath. If you want to get a little smooth or get a little sway, rock from side to side, let the spine roll, but try to keep the spine stacked. So we still want to have the shoulders stacked with the hips, so we still move on that same plane. I want us to avoid rounding forward nor backward. Stay within the plane of the hips, opening up the side body if you choose. Notice when the neck gets involved, what did we wake up? 2 more breaths. As everything comes back into neutral, grounding down, lengthening up, shine both palms forward, reach the hands out to the side. Inhale, lift both hands above you. On the exhale, find a micro back bend, goalpost the arms, shine the palms up to the ceiling, lightly lift the chin to the ceiling. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now we're going to find those movements with breath. Stay with me. Release the hands to the side, shine the palms forward. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, micro back bend, shine the palms to the sky. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, hands to heart center, sweeping around. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, micro back bend. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more. Inhale, sweep it up and around. Exhale, micro back bend. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one. Inhale, sweep it up and around. Exhale, micro back bend. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come back to breath. Noticing, pairing movement with breath, the intention with movement, guiding that oxygen to everywhere we need it the most. Release the hands to the side. Inhale, hands up and wide. On the exhale, plant the right hand down beside you as you reach over to the right. So reaching with that left hand, we want to start by reaching up. So if this is where we're at, this is perfect. If you want a little bit more opening in the side body, bend into the right elbow. Reaching, start to round and reach over. We want to avoid collapsing. So we're not collapsing into the shoulders, reaching down. We want to try to reach up. And again, we want to try to keep the shoulders in plane with the hips. One more full breath. Inhale the neck a little longer. Exhale, find the depth of the bend. Inhale, sweep both hands up overhead. Exhale, left hand plants. Start to reach up, 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 and then over. Opening that right shoulder. Again, we want to avoid collapsing forward. This has nothing to do with how far we're reaching. It has all to do with where we feel it in the side body, how intentional and deep the breaths can be. One more inhale, lengthen in the neck, reach a little further. Exhale, complete that bend, open the side body. Inhale, both hands to center. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Elbows come out wide, behind the head, wide with the elbows, drop down with the shoulders, lengthen from behind the ears. Breathe. See if you can draw the shoulders down the back. See what it takes to try to soften those shoulders. Not always easy. Sometimes it feels scary. That's okay. Bring one big inhale. On the exhale, reach the left elbow up to the sky. So we're bending to the right. Reaching that left elbow up. Inhale here to center. Exhale, bend to the left. Reaching that right elbow to the sky. Inhale, center. We're going to do 2 more. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center, open the heart, slightly lift the chin. Exhale, release the hands, roll through the shoulders. Roll with the neck, wiggle out the jaw. Notice if we got tense in the brow, soften the face. As we inhale, hands up and wide. Exhale, find a forward fold. Now the fingertips can come to the mat. We could have the hands onto the block. onto blocks. We could have the hands onto the mat. You could find a long lengthening here. If it feels good, you can surrender down onto the forearms. So what I want us to avoid is pressing the third eye down into the mat. We're not trying to get the top of the head to touch. That's not what matters. We want to stay with breath. And breath is nice and long, so the spine needs to be long so there's room for the lungs. You could rock it back and forth, side to side. Give me 3 breaths here. Movement or stillness, whatever you crave. And the very bottom of that breath, inhale to slowly roll back to center. Bend into the right knee, taking the left foot to the inside of the thigh. Grounding down in the legs. Now take a moment to notice if you ever feel pinching, burning, anything uncomfortable in that knee, offer a block or something under that knee. Block, pillow, blanket, whatever you've got. The more support you can give, what'll happen is when the hip gets tight, the hip has that full ball mount of range of motion, much like your shoulder, right? So the hip can move in every direction, which our knee is a lot more like our elbow. So not quite so flexible from side to side. It only has that one way of bending and folding. So if we have a lot of tightness in that ball mount joint, this two-dimensional, more folding style joint is not going to be too happy when we ask a lot extra of it because we're asking it to tweak from side to side. Spiel is over. Ground down into the legs, lengthen into the spine, breathe. Spine nice and long here is key. Turn the shoulders over to the left, chin in line with the toes. Inhale to sweep the arms up and wide. Exhale, fold over that left leg. Now when you get here, fingertips again could be onto the mat. You could rock from side to side, back and forth, maybe finding small circle style movements. As we eventually got ourselves into some form of relative stillness, just enough to sigh it out and let it go here. 2 breaths, guiding that right hip down, lengthening. We always have the option here to take the gaze to the right and let the left ear draw down. Notice what you like. Maybe the opposite. Maybe we look to the left and let the ear drop. See where you feel it. Surrender the neck, surrender the breath. Finish that exhale. Letting the inhalation roll you back up to center. Spine stays nice and long. We're going to stir the pot here. Grounding down into the sit bones. Spine stays long. Guide everything in circles. Find the furthest circles you can take in every direction. We start to open up with that bend. Now we bring in the movement. Inhaling as you guide forward and around. Exhaling as you guide back and around. Switching directions when you're ready. Inhaling when you lean back. Exhaling as you lean forward. One more breath. All the way to the bottom of that breath. As everything guides back into neutral. Spine stays long. Everything stacked. Turn the shoulders to the right. Inhale, reach the arms up and wide. Exhale, find a fold over that right knee. Finding that fold again, the fingertips can be on the mat. You could rock from side to side. Our goal here is to keep the left glute anchored. So we're not trying to bend so far. We start lifting that left glute or left leg. Both sit bones are strongly grounded. We are gently folding, moderate twists. 2 more breaths. Let the head hang heavy. Bottom of that exhale, inhale, slowly roll it up. Switch the legs. Right leg sends long, left knee bends. Bring that foot to the inner thigh. Again, evaluate what support we want. So I still have support under my glutes. It's what I need. Helps me rotate that pelvis forward. Because if you feel like you're struggling to pull forward, or this puts a lot of pressure on the lower back, I highly recommend something under your glutes to give yourself height. Check in with that left knee. If it's floating up here and that just feels very strenuous, give it support. Could be any level you need. We want to be able to ground down strong here. Lengthen in the spine. Spine and vertebrae are stacked. Breathing deep. Turn the shoulders over to the right, chin in line with the toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up and wide. Exhale, fold over that leg. Again, when you get here, you could just rock from side to side, back and forth. Ease yourself into it. There's no wrong way to experience your practice. Let the head hang heavy if it feels good. 2 more breaths here. On the bottom of that exhalation, inhale, slowly roll up all the way. Shoulders stacked in line with the hips, spine is long, neck is long. Stir the pot. Keeping the spine stacked, find circles. Guide the body around in every direction. Inhaling as you lean forward and around. Exhaling as you lean back and around. Again, our goal here is keep the legs anchored. Keep everything where it's at. When you're ready, switch direction, switch the breath. Inhale as you lean back and around. Exhale as you guide forward and around. Two more breaths. So body gets back into neutral. Again, spine is long. Reach out of the crown of the head. Turn the shoulders to the left, chin in line with the knee. Inhale, reach the arms up and wide. On the exhale, fold over that left knee. Again, the fingertips may be onto the mat. We're not forcing ourselves down here, especially because we're not trying to lift that right glute. Anchor that right glute. Press that right leg down, keeping the length. And surrendering only when you're ready. Let the head hang heavy wherever you are. Give me 2 breaths, movement or stillness. Keep the brow soft, the jaw soft. Bottom of that final breath. Inhale to roll it up. Neck is nice and long. Soft sigh when you arrive. In your own time, make your way to a tabletop. Hands below shoulders, knees under hips. Spread the fingers wide as you can. Tuck the toes under. Just rock back and forth. As far as feels good, just lean slightly forward if that's a lot. Leaning back towards the heels as much as feels good. Then guiding these movements into circles. Shifting the weight around in every direction. Inhale as you lean forward and around. Exhale as you guide back and around. Let the head drop if you choose. Thanking the hands, the wrists, the arms, the shoulders. Thank the spine, the hips, the legs, the knees, the ankles, the feet, the toes, every body part you can think of. Give it a little thank you. Switch directions when you're ready. Switching directions of these circles. Switch the breath. Inhale when you lean back and around. Exhale as you guide forward and around. Keep those fingers spread wide. Taking in 2 more breaths, however you want to be here. As you finish that exhale, come back into center. Inhale, cow. Press the navel down, flare the tail, then look up to the sky. On the exhale, round the spine. Pull the ribs tall, tuck the tailbone in. Try to pull the third eye into the chest. Inhale, cow. Press the shoulder blades together. Bring the tail high. Press the navel down. Lengthen in that throat. Exhale, cat. Think about elongating the backside of the spine. Inhale, cow. Move one vertebrae at a time and exaggerate these movements. Exhale, cat. Stay in cat this time. So really pull the shoulder blades apart. Pull the ribs to the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone. Tuck the chin. Inhale here. Exhale, cow. Drop it all. Let it go. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. One more. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Finding a neutral spine. Bring the knees out wide, toes come to touch. Resting the tops of the feet onto the mat. Inhale to lengthen the heart forward. Exhale to child's pose. Tail guides back, slow surrender down. Take your time getting here. Now today, if the ground just feels very far away, bring blankets or blocks under the spine. So think about aligning it with the spine, under the belly and under the heart. You can always stack the fists and rest the third eye. If this is ever a lot for the knees, bring blankets or a towel behind the knees so it's not overly compressed. Wherever you are, when you feel you have arrived, give me a soft sigh of release. You could take one ear to the mat or the other. There's no wrong way to be, just breathe. Seeing if we can make every inhale just as long as the exhale. Coming into Raujai Pranayama. In and out through the nose. Find that slight constriction in the back of the throat. Creating the sound of the ocean. Feel the warmth that creates. Listen to your own breath. Drop the belly, let go of the shoulders. Just be here. With 2 more slow breaths, stay present with yourself. Let yourself have these moments. When you're ready, we'll very gently lift the gaze, walking the elbows in, bring the forearms to the mat. Bring the palms to touch, let the third eye rest on the thumbs, drop yourself, sink into your shoulders, let the shoulder blades squeeze together. Maybe a soft sigh, let the jaw rest. So we then take the hands to the mat just a little bit in front of us. We're going to press the body forward, let the hips rest on the mat. can keep the arms extended if it's in your practice. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe lift the chin up to the sky. Take an ear to the shoulder and then the other. You can shimmy the hips, shimmy the shoulders, and then lower down into a Sphinx pose. Forearms onto the mat, palms rest down flat. Pressing the palms down. Now we're pulling the shoulder blades apart, lengthening up from behind the ears. Feet are at hip distance, top of the feet are resting on the mat. Using the strength of your upper body, press down into the elbows. If it's in your practice, act like you're going to drag the body forward from the elbows, lifting out of the crown of the head. Think about elongating the spine. One more inhale, a little bit taller here. And the exhale, slowly lower down. Tap the chin, drag the hands under the shoulders, peel the body up to a tabletop. So we find this tabletop, wag the tail, look back at the tail, think about a side to side, cat and cow. So we then come back into center. We're gonna make our way up towards the top of our mat, shift over onto the sit bones, plant the feet flat in front of us. We want our strap and our blocks within reach. As we hook the hands behind the knees, draw the shoulders down and back, lengthen up from behind the ears. Inhale to lift the palms to the sky. Exhale, slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. All the way flat onto the back. Let's bring those feet up close, windshield wiper the knees once again. Hands to the belly, notice the breath, notice the hips, the love, the appreciation. Letting yourself feel joy in your body, appreciation of your body. What a gift it is to have with these bodies, these vessels to carry us. Knowing that you are your longest relationship, these bodies are the longest lease we have. Bring in the feet close to the glutes. We're going to take the strap in hand. Gathering our strap, we want it a little wider than shoulder distance, but we want to wrap it around the hands. So we're going to wrap it around the palms 1 to 2 times. Maybe more than 2, actually. We're going to wrap it around the palms a few times. The point of doing this is because I don't want our fingers to have to do all the work. I don't want us to have to be grasping on this strap, but have it a little wider than shoulder distance. Then we're going to guide the strap over the knees. Knees coming into center, wiggle in. Tuck the elbows in, draw the shoulders down to the mat first. Let the head hang heavy. We're going to use the strength of the arms. We're using the strap here. Let's roll out those ankles, scrunch and flex the feet. Noticing any stagnant energy that might have gotten caught up in those feet. As we then use the strap to rock the knees back and forth. So we're going to inhale as we lean the knees down towards the bottom of the mat. And exhale as we pull the knees in towards the ribs. Again, inhaling as you guide the knees down towards the mat. Exhale as you pull them in. We're massaging the sacrum. We're massaging the hip flexors, creating a bit of a bind. It's a great way to stimulate the lymphatic system. We have huge lymphatic drainage systems right there near the hip flexor. So we then take these rocking back and forth, and then we turn them into circles. Guide the knee in circles as far in every direction as feels good. Maybe you notice there's one area as you lean towards maybe one side. You want to just stay with it, rock with it. Listen to your body. Switch directions of the circles anytime you need. Staying with the breath, keep the brow and jaw soft. If you notice tension in the body, and you try to let it go, but then you transfer it to furrowing the brow or tensioning the jaw, notice that. As we truly try to let go, not just transfer. Even out both directions, both sides, and meet me back in center when you're ready. Taking a nice big inhale, soft sigh to let that go. As we hook both feet under our strap. Guiding both feet under the strap, right under the ball mount of each foot. Feet could be at hip distance, feet could be together. Again, we want the shoulders resting heavy, the head resting heavy. We want the tailbone grounded. Take as much bend into the knees as feel good. So if the hamstrings are tight, we may be very bent. That's perfect. Extend as much as feels good. Find your breath. Hover those feet over the hips. Notice where that feels. So we then rock the feet back and forth in towards us and down towards the back, bottom of our mat. Take this as much or as little as feels good. Maybe you really want to pull those feet in. Maybe you really want to lower them down. Then when you're ready, turn that into circles. Shifting the weight on the sacrum, guiding it around. Again, as far in every direction as feels good. And as if you start rocking and you find one spot that really just needs extra attention, I want you to stay with it. When you hear whispers of intuition, I want you to follow it. A lot of our yoga practice is learning how to trust ourselves. Learning how to trust what we feel and trust that what we know in our hearts is true. Switching directions of those circles if you haven't already. Breathing deep. Offer your body 2 more breaths here. Breaths that fill the lungs. Breaths that empty the lungs. As everything comes back into center, we're going to find a variation of happy baby with the strap. Guiding the feet out wider than the hips, bend generously into both knees. Bring the ribs to the bring the knees to the outsides of the ribs. Pull down on the strap. Flex both feet. Once you're here, start to pull down a little harder on the strap. Open that up. Maybe rock from side to side if it feels good. You pull down on one side of the strap and then the other. This allows us to massage the lumbar, massage the back, and breathe. Bringing everything back to neutral, extend both legs long onto the strap. Again, feet in together or hip distance apart. As you bring in one big inhale here, flex both feet. On the exhale, pull the feet in towards you. So this is essentially our forward fold. Micro bend in the knees, big bend in the knees if we need. We're not trying to overdo the hamstrings. Rock it back and forth if we need, but we want to try to keep these feet pulled in closer than we did before. 2 more breaths. As we then slowly release both feet down to the mat, we can set the strap aside and we're going to windshield wiper the knees. Rocking the knees from side to side. As the knees come back into center, walk the feet up close to the glutes. As we flex into both feet, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. Drawing that right ankle, pressing into the top of that thigh, we start to track that right knee down. So we're not trying to have that knee close into the ribs. We want to try to guide it down towards the base of the mat. But flexing that left foot is important. That's how we get from overextending the knee. Opening the hips, breathing deep. See just how you feel here. Coming into this half pigeon, this reverse pigeon, we have options. So if you want a little bit more, we have a few choices to get you there. Option number 1 is we could take the left hand to the foot, right hand to the knee, and keep that foot flexed and keep that shape as we guide that knee in. We could rock it in and towards us, even find circles here. You can cradle it like a baby if that's in your practice, not for me. Option number 2 would be we could keep that right ankle pressing into the knee. You could interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. It's not in my practice. So for me, the way I would take that variation is I would guide a strap under my left thigh, maybe even doubled up just to be comfy. Cross that ankle over, then pull it up and in if that's what you choose. Now, if that is all just a little bit much, we have the option of taking a block under the left foot. This is our third option. Creating a platform with that foot, crossing that ankle over, still bringing it in, but keeping it a little bit more passive. Notice what feels good. Breathe. Hands could be on the belly. You could cactus arms, whatever you'd like. Returning back to center from any variation you're at, keeping things crossed, keeping that right ankle over. We're going to take our strap over the right ankle, hooking it on, pulling that in. We're going to take this strap, grab it with the left hand. So as we flex into the right foot, track that right knee down, keep a good grasp on that on that ankle with the left hand. We inhale, cactus the right arm. On the exhale, treat the legs as one unit, rock the legs over to the left. And as you get here, we can keep a good hold on this to help that hand, that leg start to surrender. If this right foot does not meet the ground, we could always bring a block there. Give it something to meet. Bring the ground to the foot then. Wherever you are, breathe. Because with every inhale, we want to think about tracking that right hip down. On every exhale, we want to think about opening the ribs up to the sky. If you notice you do not need the strap, you can always just take the left hand to the ankle. Notice what you need. Breathe. 2 more breaths here, all the way to the top. All the way to the bottom. On your next inhalation, treat the legs as one unit. Guide the legs back into center. Slowly release the right foot down to the mat. Windshield wiper the knees. Letting those knees fall from one side to the other. Notice the difference between the two sides. As the knees come back into neutral, crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Flexing into that left foot, tracking that left knee down. You can always stay here. Again, option 1 would be taking the foot and leg in the hand, rocking it back and forth, pulling it in, keeping that left foot flexed. Option number 2 is interlacing the fingers under that right thigh or bringing the strap under. Option 3, again, is bringing a block under that right foot, giving that little bit of height, but still allowing you to rest in this position. This is not meant to be easy. Breathe. Continuing to track that right knee, that left knee down. Opening up. Arms could be cactus overhead, hands on belly. 3 slow breaths. Returning back to the supine pigeon, removing any support, whether that be the block or if we were lifting. Grounding down in that right foot. We have the option to take the right hand onto the left ankle or use the strap around the ankle. Getting a good hold of that left ankle, flex that left foot, track that left knee down. Inhale, cactus arm with the left. Exhale, twist the legs to the right. Treat the legs as one unit. Rock them all the way down. Again, if that left foot is not touching the ground, bring a block under it. Bring the ground up to it. As we ground down, open up. Get as much or as little as you would like from this. On every inhale, we're tracking that left hip down. On every exhale, we're opening the ribs to the sky. This is big for that IT band. Breathe. As you complete that final exhale, let the inhalation guide the legs back to center. Slowly release the left foot. Windshield wiper the knee. Again, notice the difference between the two side bodies. As the body comes back into neutral, both feet walk up close to the glutes. So we take the strap in hand, maybe even double it up, as we take that strap over the right knee. Pull the right knee in, send the left leg long if that feels good. Rock that right knee back and forth to the top and bottom of your mat. Eventually turn that into circles and breathe. Find a little bit of attention, massage, love for this hip, love for this leg. Remembering our hips are working constantly. Sitting, standing, sleeping, walking, everything we do relies on these hips. Bring the knee back into center. Slowly lower it down to the mat. As we pull the left foot up towards the glute. Hook the strap over the left knee. Extend the right leg long. Rock that left knee back and forth. Use the strap. And eventually turn that into circles guided around. Helping rearrange that energy, dissipate that heat. Let the oxygen soothe these muscles. Bring the knee back into center. Slowly release the left foot down to the mat. Set the strap aside. Dragging the left heel up close to the glute. One final time. Windshield wiper these knees. Maybe exaggerate it a little bit as we fall to the left. Really kick that right hip up. Drawing the inside of that right knee down to the mat. Finding a mild twist as you come to each side. If there are any other final movements that your body is craving, that your body is needing, please feel free to take it now. As then we will slowly transition into our final Shavasana, into our final resting pose. Legs can be long. You could find that Supta Baddha Konasana. You could cross the ankles or come to a half lotus. The arms could be to cactus arms. You could reach up overhead. As you notice where you're at, you notice what you need. Let the head get heavy, the shoulders melt. Let the spine relax completely. Let go of the hips, the glutes, the thighs. Let the ankles flop, the feet rest. Gathering up any of that stagnant energy we may have left behind. Inhale it like a vacuum, gather it all up, then exhale, soft sigh, let it out. As you utilize this time of peace, trusting in the value of release, just let go. Slowly begin to bring the breath in deeper. Welcoming movements to the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists and the ankle. Even when you're ready, reach the arms up overhead like a new morning style stretch. You roll on to your right side in a supported fetal position. A quote from Swami Sadishtananda and the Yoga Sutras. We are not going to change the world, but we can change ourselves and feel free as birds. We can be serene even in the midst of calamities, and by our serenity, make others more tranquil. Serenity is contagious. If we smile at someone, they will smile back, and a smile costs us nothing. Let us plague everyone we know with joy. Using the strength of your arms to press yourself up into a comfortable seat, let us share a single breath together, sealing our practice. As the hands guide to heart center, let us exhale completely. Together, let us bring in a slow, deep, mindful inhale all the way to the top. Let's bring in a little bit more. Try for bring in one more sip. Then we'll let it go. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. May your entire universe be filled with peace, joy, love, and light. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. It means so much to me. And I just hope you have the best day. I'm like gonna start crying. I love this so much. And I love you all so much. So I'll see you next time. I hope you have a great day. Mwah.